The biggest lesson has to be acceptance to change, because the only thing that makes change unbearable or difficult is our resistance to it. If we accept all endings or changes as new beginnings and space for new things and better things, then we ought not to even feel it as this negative shift or anything,
as this heavy burden,
or
something to fear or feel anxious about.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Student podcast. Namhlanje siphethe umedem HLUMELO January. How are you, man?
I'm great, thanks. So how are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the headquarters.
Oh yes, it's nice to finally be here. Hey.
Yeah, how does it feel being outside your normal space?
It's so exciting. I won't lie, because
Really?
I love talking. So usually I'm always commenting on other people's work,
Yeah.
So it's nice just like being in the space where now I am in the other position.
Interrogated and all.
Yes. So it's interesting how that's gonna go.
No, let's rock. This is a simple platform.
Yeah.
It's educational in nature. So it's the boring stuff. That's what we call it. But very informative it must be. Yeah. So sinokuyiqala ngendlela simple. There's a lady that I usually see or meet emsebenzini, and she would always say, a penny for your thought.
Oh yes.
So she would expect a random thought at all times. If lo sisi ngadibana now, what would you say?
Oh, what would I say? Oh, so I saw 555, right, when I was here and you guys were setting up. And 555 is the number of change, right? And I think that that's what I would talk about. I think in the season in my life currently, the biggest lesson has to be acceptance to change, because the only thing that makes change unbearable or difficult is our resistance to it. If we accept all endings or changes as new beginnings and space for new things and better things, then we ought not to even feel it as this negative shift or anything,
as this heavy burden, or something to fear or feel anxious about.
Exactly.
No, man, that's great. Where did you know about this 555 and all these numbers?
Hey man, I'm into these like astrology things, So I'm very much into the numerology aspect, and the numbers love me as much as I love them. So as I was sitting and you guys were setting up, like it just was there, like 555, and then I couldn't like share it with anyone else,
Because it's your own language with yourself. Yay, these things are scary, ne? My sister loves them. Maybe it's something with the girls or with the ladies. So, what I can take from your words is mainly acceptance to change. Accept change so that it won't feel heavy or burdensome. Ne?
Yes.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Mhlambe in a nutshell, who is HLUMELO, where is she based, and what does she do?
Oh, okay. So who is HLUMELO? I struggle with this question, but HLUMELO is
myself, ne?
HLUMELO is a 20-year-old female, who just is an artist, in all ways, in her daily life and just like her personal life in all ways. I reside in KwaZulu Essays.
Essays. KwaZulu,
yes, shout out to my hood. Yes. And I'm a freelance visual artist. I'm also an illustrator. I'm also a presenter by day. And I'm also a performing artist. I'm a poet. I'm just all of these things. And hence I say I'm an artist all around.
So you're vested in the arts.
Yes.
Mhlambe bethu, your type of art, because ngiyabona we have drawings here. What do you call this?
Oh, okay. What do we call it? The style?
or no, the
Just
nature
it's art. Oh, okay. So this is fine art because it touches on different mediums. I didn't only use paint. I didn't only use pencil. So the fact that it's a various forms of mediums makes it fine arts. And it's there's different styles. Hey, there's different styles. There's impasto, which is application of the paint directly onto the canvas. You know, there's expressionism, which is in the word, and there's realism in a sense. So it's just a crossover of all. It's literally contemporary art. You
so
know?
who owns this jargon art? Because I feel like if me, like a normal person, were to express myself in an artistic way, there's always that jargon, or you'll be categorized as a certain person. Like, where does that come from? Is it because people study art, or
it's exactly because people study art, you know. That jargon comes from, you know, art theory, you know, which is essentially art history. And I had studied visual arts in high school, so that's where like my influence of all that jargon comes from. I remember I went to this workshop like last week with these two artists, Dola Sepeta and Lizo Pemba.
Shout out to Dola and shout out to
Mr. Sepeta and Mr. Pemba. Hey,
we don't know yet what name's in, but shout out.
Shout out to them. And one of the participants, one of the people there listening in, she asked a question. She said, what is the significance for you, specifically as the black child, you know, to go out there and get the qualification, get that paper in the arts? You know, I love the question because it's a very important topic, you know, for us as black individuals within this field to have and to discuss. You know, it does not, I believe personally, when I concluded, that it does not limit our capabilities. I did all of this outside of high school, you know, outside of when I actually studied art. But having somebody there to introduce me to different styles, to inform me of different things. Or
even name them. Because you might be doing it, it's a matter of knowing. You know what you're doing.
Yes. And sometimes that's how people beat you at something, because you're better at elaborating and concept is very important, because there's a lot of us that have the skill, that have the gift, but we don't have the thought process, you know, we don't have the message. And so I think it's very good to go into that and to just give yourself the opportunity to see yourself all around as the artist, you know, equipped with theory, because there's no harm, I believe, you know, there's no harm. I'm not saying
you just get better.
Yes,
I think so don't you think people get less artistic when they know how to do? They feel like they want to rely more on intuition, nature. I just felt like doing that. I didn't technically go to it. I just felt it. Do you find yourself competing or conflicting?
Elaborate, please, on my question.
All right. Let's say you know how to play a game, and the other guy is naturally gifted at the game. When you know the rules of the game, therefore, yes, you're gonna beat him. But we as natural, don't you find those things conflicting? Umuntu who's naturally artistic, and when you study art, they say ishiyana lapha, come at the end with this one studied art. He taking process yakhe fun, leyo munye more natural. Don't you find those conflicting?
I think it's a superpower. I think don't see those two aspects as ones that oppose one another, but rather ones that like how bold what you are trying to achieve. So I do not think that it's about maintaining a balance. If anything, it's about using, you know, I do use tips and tricks and hacks when sometimes I'm not in the state to produce
something that is out of the book.
Yes, basically. You know. So sometimes I do use the book and sometimes I don't, and I love the versatility. I love that I can be any version and I can produce any variety of anything that I want. So I think, hence I say it's of importance to expose yourself to these things so that you feel as an individual and as the artist that you have more options. Because I feel that when you are limited in what you know, you think that what you know is the only option, you know. But then when you have all of this other information, you can choose and decide what you want to be. I like to say, in order to break the rules, you must know the rules, you know? So that's how I view art, that you must really like.
But there's more guilt in knowing. It's like, it gave me a bore in a sense because or you become more manipulative than actually being creative. At the same time, you're targeting a certain market.
Yes.
Then you know, this is how to trick that market. Whereas if you're doing it genuinely, you wouldn't have felt the same.
Well, I think that discussion depends on the intention as a whole. Because if my intention is to trick a market, then it's essentially to be validated by an external source. Yeah. But immediately when I do not care what you think of my work and what I produce, then immediately even though I am aware, I am equipped to, to coerce you and to persuade you to perceive things or like my work. Yeah. I know what you like, but it's me choosing not to, But I do like the power of having that as an option there. And I don't think it's bad to want to utilize that, to want to manipulate, to want to, coerce something, because it means that I'm that good. I'm that good that I can deliver something that I know you want, even though you don't know you want it. So, yes.
So how far does it go when it comes to studying humans? Yeah, human behavior and humans.
Oh, I love that question. Thank you. One thing about me, I'm an extrovert. But more than anything, that part of like me just wanting, being around people and everything, I found that this is all a result of all of that, So what do I do for work? I go out and I meet people. It doesn't always
You're
mean
absorbing, basically.
Yes, experiencing, having stories, analyzing everything, and not taking for granted, where a story can come from. Being like an open book.
Yeah.
And at the end of almost every week, I come home with all of these energies. Sometimes it becomes heavy when I'm not like.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I go home with all of these energies. Sometimes I will speak like you because I've been with you for the whole week. And I will start having the phrases. Yes.
Yeah.
And I will start, it's like almost this person's energy. There's no other word. They're just everything, the element, everything has kind of like left its mark on me. Yes. Yeah. And I'm so used to having this energy around that I end up emitting it. Because I've been absorbing it for so long. So many people don't know that they are in my artworks. They think they're so basic.
Yeah.
And even the muse, or what triggered me to see them as a muse, is like, it's a basic thing. It's a very simple thing. But it's one that goes a long way. There's this book. I love this book. It's called A Cup of Sake. I have it, but I don't have it with me.
A cup of sake.
A cup of sake beneath the cherry trees.
Yeah.
You see? It's by Yoshida Kenko, an 1800s Japanese writer. I think it's a type of beer, like Japanese, like it's a traditional beer, yeah. What I love about that book is, even when you read like the preface, it's about this monk who's just chilling, literally.
And under a tree.
Every time, no, that's just one of the stories. Every time he has a random thought, that's what the book is about. It's about random thoughts and the lessons that he's come out with it. So it's not a story, it's small captions of small stories. They could be 2 paragraphs, they could be a paragraph. Sometimes it's only like
and it could
10
have
lines.
Been written by a person who had those small encounters.
Yes,
whatever,
yes, and that's what I love. It's from everyday life. He talks about everyday things. He talks about all topics of life, and I love how he in that book, just the simplicity of the things that he analyzes, his subject matter shows truly the things that do matter. I love how he converses and he uses words to paint this imagery, and that's why literature and books were such a huge influence in my work.
Books.
Books.
Oh, books.
Yes.
I thought it's a name. Yeah, that's actually mouthful. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for those insights. You find in art, Suguti, people struggle with the formality of things and the artistry of things, or the natural element to it. How does one balance the normal systematic world with art? Because you find there must be money coming out of this. But if you are a bush mechanic of some sort, or an underground artist at all times, yes, you might be artistic, but you end up needing financially, you are needing means, because you are not designing or making for the systematic world which has the money you need.
Again, great question.
Super.
Well, this is a very, very good question, because I'm currently dealing with that.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, like, none of my artworks are sold. I've done artworks, I've full commission. I have sold an artwork, but I've just been like, after experiencing that, I decided no. Because I found that I am one of those people. I am not ready, in the sense that I have not learned yet to balance, the state of both, the systematic and formal world of making money and making everything, putting a price, and then still creating my art. For me, it's art. It's all the whimsical and abstract things. It's about, oh my god, it means so much to me, I want to give it to people that care.
So it's more personal.
Yes. And then I have the world looking at me like, what, you're sitting on money, and it's so hard. It's a personal I don't know what to call it, but it's a civil war.
You feel like you're selling your soul if you start designing
essentially, but then at the same time you aren't, because you are making that living for yourself. It's not like it's going anywhere else. It's coming back to your art, but it's so hard to, I think it's the humility that comes with doing the work. You just do the work for the love of it. Now to have to put a price on it when people just want to admire it, it's like, no, you can just have it just for a few bucks. You can have it for a few bucks,
That's so painful,
it is, but then at the same time, it's really necessary. That's why my personal, people choose to venture differently, and I don't mind. But personally, I keep my work aside from my play, and this is my play. This is my prey. This is what I do. This is what I love. So I tell myself that I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna work so I can keep on doing this.
All right. So you don't wanna feed off your passion.
Yes, but I think the best way is you can always. I'll use the word translate your passion. I started off as a visual artist, right? And then what I did was I started graphic designing. So I felt like graphic designing was the more modernized version of being a visual artist, So now, if we can just take if you know that you were a good radio host or whatnot, start a podcast, If you know that you're a good presenter, start a YouTube. If you know that you're a good drawer, try graphic design. If you're good with your eye, try photography. Anything that you can also just challenge yourself as an artist in another medium, and actually also earn something and be validated in this world.
Angithi lapho where the conflict comes in, that making of that transition is conflicting with the natural artistic way, because you find that there start to be demand. People are demanding this. The market is demanding you to release. There's a set date. There are albums now. There are times, like there's seasons.
Yes. And when somebody says they want their artwork next week, you have to. I couldn't handle that. Because
in some ways, even your creativity.
Yes, what if I don't feel like drawing what you and that's why I was just like, I think that is a really hard thing, because now you have to just. Hence, I didn't turn my craft into a business. Hence, I chose to focus my creativity elsewhere that could actually bring me money. And that itself is also a challenge too, So I think it requires the discipline. I think it requires the discipline and the mental understanding that, it's in life, and I think as artists we will understand it, is that in life it's not about what you want, but what you need, and like what needs to get done at the end of the day.
Those are heavy words. It's not about what you want, it's about what you actually need.
Exactly.
Because basically, it's a survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
The world we live in. Thank you very much for these insightful thoughts, as much as they are challenging to you. I'm pointing at you like that. Fethu, art, there's an artist behind the art. Ne? How does an artist live? Like, most of the time, are you in your head?
Oh my God, I can't believe somebody's asked me this question finally.
Really?
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yo, I live hard. It's so hard. Because, again, systematic, formal world, and world that expects this. And now I've only been recognized as an artist by a lot of people around me, also in my workspace. Now people recognize me because I do have the work. Most of the time I kept my work to myself and most people didn't know. And so it was just like, if I wasn't in the right space, or if I reacted differently in a social space than other people, it's seen as weird or different, or why is she doing that? Because she's why, because it's not the expected response.
It's like some sort of a misfit.
Yes, but then I didn't only have the disadvantages, I had the advantages too. Because when you can see far, you can do more, I've been able to fit myself into places that I didn't belong, Just because you fit in somewhere doesn't mean you belong there, But I've been able to fit myself into spaces for the sake of survival, because I was able to foresee, and I think that's because of my gift, I was able to see things for how they were, So I would adjust. I wouldn't say change or pretend, I would say adjust a certain level of myself to just be comfortable, or to just keep things, calm, in that space with those people in that area, being versatile, But I also think when you're an artist, you walk in so many people's shoes that you can be anyone. Sure. You can put on any face, So
it's heavy, It's heavy in a sense that way too. I can imagine, let's say TV. Yes, people want to sit and watch TV, but they don't want to deal with the person they're watching in real life. They can't handle that person. They want to vibe to your music, but they don't want to deal with you on a personal to personal level.
Yes.
Must be very tricky.
That's been the hardest thing. Even close people, everybody knows that, oh, she's an artist. Yeah. But nobody treats you like an actual artist,
Let's give it some light. Sorry about that. But so people don't want to treat you like an artist. But they want your art. They want to indulge in your art.
Yes.
That's super level. Alright, let's not stop. Wow. But we need the lights. Can our magicians do the lights? Yeah. Lights back. There too. Lights back. Thank you.
We're back.
Yeah. Light is back. It's really good. And I hope you still make sense to the audience and people who do art.
Yes.
Really resonate and feel like at home.
Yes. Actually, I'm there too.
I'm not alone.
I think it's very important for everyone in life to just find their community. It's very important, because the one thing we want to know as people is that we're not alone. That's the one thing we want.
That's what you want.
Yes, because we have a form of united consciousness, as people. So I think that's where themes such as Ubuntu are derived from,
The unity.
Yes,
sense of belonging.
Yes. So I really feel that if anyone, always, I think that's my nature and who I am. If anyone can ever find a place of comfort in something that I have to say, that is more than enough. That is, they don't need to say thank you. They don't need to say anything.
I'm sure they'll be comfortable. School, we used to write exams, right? So my faili lunga now faili. There's that sisonke. What the hell? Where are we together at the bottom? Get out of here.
At the back.
You must be sonke at the top. But nyagoza mfethu. Mhlawumbe the element of growing up, you find that yes, you might feel or consciously and unconsciously you might tune in to what you are now. Like iziphi izinto kade uzibona growing up and be like, oh, that was a sign of the person I am today.
Oh, okay. Yo, you're just full of good questions, hey?
Nah.
Yeah, I'll give you an applause for that.
Star.
Hey.
I'm a questionnaire.
Questionnaire.
In person.
So I think, if anything, I always say this, I'm just like living backwards. Like, I'm going back to more ways of how I used to be when I was young. I was a very smart kid. I will give myself that, because most of the...
Then the system messed you up.
Yeah, hey. Because as I'm growing up, I'm looking back on a lot of things and I'm like, but I knew this, I saw this as young as I was. Because most of the things that we make life complex, things are really simple. And kids know what they're doing, Kids know what they're doing. And there's a lot of things, like, for example, my how I got introduced to this whole thing is that my mom was drawing videos, literally, that she needed somebody to actually bring to life, And so I just
she was designing.
Yeah, she was designing. Yes, I'd never seen her draw. I never even thought of something of drawing outside of the classroom, And it just sparked something, and because I'm always like trying to be an imitation of my mom. I went and I just tried on my own, and then she lit the fire, she lit the spark, and then that's how just things carried on. And I think I was always a creative kid. I was always, if anything, the messages that I have now that I express through my art are all themes that I thought of, that I discussed within myself at a young age. Themes such as loss and death and things
at a young age. Loss and death.
I don't think you have to look at it negatively. You just wonder as a kid. And what I love about children is that they wonder, their minds wander with no biases. Tina, we limit what we can think because we like, oh, I can't think that, that's so wrong. But when it's a kid, it's innocent. It's just wondering.
And it just came at that point.
Exactly.
They won't rush it.
And they won't dwell on it. They will think, question it as much as possible. But they won't dwell on it, and they won't let it consume their day or their mood. Just move from that. And I learn a lot from kids. They're my favorites.
You are living in reverse.
Yeah.
Because the genuine you is your kid.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
I always tell people to watch cartoons.
Yes.
I feel like the messages that are there for kids are actually what old people should be.
Yes, and especially the cartoons nowadays, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and the themes that they discuss. I love how figurative they are. Cartoons really reflect everyday things that happen. They reflect it at a really low level for kids to comprehend. Yet for you, they question you as an adult at the same time. So only if you have more information than the kid can you truly understand the depth, of the message that is being communicated. And that is, I remember this one cartoon called Clarence, and I literally stopped washing dishes, because Clarence is a kid and he's taking a walk in the scene, and he's like, sometimes I feel like there are so many me's inside of me. And I'm like, yo, Clarence, whoa,
And it's a cartoon.
Yes, it might and I'm like, my brother's watching this. Whoa. But it was just like the depth and the simplicity of things, because even though my brother was young, he could comprehend that,
Yeah. Life of an artist is too multifolded.
Everywhere.
Multifolded. Going to the... I'm not sure if it's uncomfortable to an artist to speak about Iman. Where do you say, now I convert? Now I make the money. Now I go to the money. Now I chase the money. Or now I write the check. It might be something that you are not doing, but you see with it.
Okay.
I need to do that. There's no other way. As much as I'm still trying to console myself, like, get to this level. We are born with it. This is where I should be.
Okay.
Or this is what I should be doing, but I'm not doing it.
I think it's when it goes back to that thing you said about, isn't it manipulative when you do something?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to give you what you want. That's why they say give the people what they want. That's what makes money. You can't open a shop and sell food that nobody wants. Every supply has to have a demand, so you do have to give people what they want. There's no point of me having self-portraits that nobody cares about possessing. I do have to give people what they want. It's just that right now it's a decision not to, but I do know that at some point I need to find a space that I feel comfortable enough in to express not only myself but to actually deliver what I need and to supply what others will demand. So yes,
because the thing we born is that to make money you need the simplest of things, and yet in multi-folds, mass production. So you're pointing at the artist with, hey, yo, if people want a simple burger, stop complicating this thing and putting funny things. No, that is for your home. That is for your kitchen.
You want that.
The market, this is what it wants from you. Give it that.
Exactly.
And so that you can afford your livelihood. Siyabonga kakhulu, man. I love those words because they speak unto the money side of things, and artists end up dying and suffering without money. If I'm looking at the state of art in South Africa, how would you wish things would change, or how the systematic things would pay tribute to artists or art itself, so that you guys don't really suffer?
Well, okay, so now I have like two takes sort of, but it's one thing on that. So with my job, okay, so I host a show called Eye on Art, which talks about local art and talent, from performing arts to visual arts. Just had to say that.
No, you can actually more it full. Where is it, and how does one get to see it?
So every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on channel 260, your channel of choice, I'll be there as your host, and we'll be talking about visual arts, performing arts, literary arts, all the arts, anything creative, anything. And if you want to be on the other side of the screen, do make sure to contact us on all social media platforms. We are Pomakapa TV. Thank you.
That's Bob. Pomakapa TV, previously known as
Bay TV.
Yeah.
So where were we actually? Also with my job, I've been exposed to so many things, and I just love how seeing different artists, different spaces, different, like you see the upcoming ground artists, like they're literally painting at the back of the yard. Then you see the more established, like I worked to be here, I studied to be here, I went to the schools, you see.
Got the connects.
Yeah, I got the contacts. Yes, I'm hosting in the gallery, although I've been painting for 2 years. You have those, and I judge no one. I appreciate all of them actually, and if anything, I feel that we live in a world with so many opportunities that now it's like black people playing the race card. It's over. It's really over. Like you have to complain about something else now, So it's the same thing with the artists. It's like, yes, the government is not doing too much, but we have so many platforms and opportunities where you can't literally just sit and wait. It's all about going out there and creating the opportunity for yourself, And if you look hard enough, something is gonna break. Someone has to open a door eventually, and it's just that sometimes I feel that we want things to be handed to us. The first step, because I didn't just become an artist. I went through a lot of things because I didn't consider myself an artist until like 2021.
That's so recent.
Yes.
Yeah, but you are young.
Yes, but I've been painting since when?
Yeah,
but I've been producing art since a long time. But
calling yourself an artist is something else.
Yes, but also it was the self-esteem that I could produce art. I didn't have that confidence. Yes. I was like, I could draw. I could draw. I attend visual art classes. But when people are like, you're an artist, I'm like,
I do it
I
as
make art. I make, So when I took those, wait, what was I saying?
About the experience you had let's say they are blacks who demand things.
Okay,
basically.
yes.
We are like, no, the time is up.
Yes.
We should go get.
So with me, it was this whole thing of I didn't feel that I was an artist, And then I started thinking, like, whose validation do I need? And I think we ought to have more of that mindset of, we think we need this governmental, if your artwork is not hung in that specific gallery, or if it's not recognized by those specific people, then you're not an artist. Why are you allowing their validation to deem whether or not you're an artist?
Because now you can't delay in network. What if nothing puts you in there?
Exactly. And even their network, the main reason we actually want to fit in, even into that network, we know that it's the one that puts the bread on the table. So hence I say sometimes that it's most importantly, it's about your intention as an artist. Because we're different. I don't mind. My vision is to work, even if I'm a cashier, and then I come home and that's all, and read my books.
So
I have my dog and my cat, and I have my money. I will eat. I will be happy. Like that. And for some people, that's not the life, and that's all right. Some people, they want to see their art there. Okay, I also want to see my art there. But not at the expense where I feel like, at least not yet. People grow, people change. But for now, I just do not feel that I want to sell that part of myself. So it's fine if they just hang in my room. For now.
Because we grow to realize, okay, 1, 2, 3, I can actually handle. It's not that bad. Now my responsibilities, they're gonna slowly creep in.
Yes. Feeling the pressure that you can't consume your time doing this without having. Yes.
A simple thing, looking at I'm gonna keep on getting back to these points systematically. As an artist, you should have this, so that when as a HLUMELO from Puma Kappa TV is calling you, do you want to pitch or do you want to showcase? Like, you should at least have this.
Okay.
As an artist.
It would have to be, the basic thing that every person wants, not only like schools and facilities and courses when you apply, but just every decent person. Like if you say if I say to you, I'm an artist, you want to see my work, and therefore goes the word portfolio. At least have work. I believe in the idea of when opportunity comes, you must be prepared. When the opportunity presents itself, you can't be like, oh yes, I'm an artist, but I'm gonna show you my work. I'll get back to you.
I'm gonna show you.
You must have the work. You must say, by the way, I'm an artist. So I think that's the problem with us. We justify our lack of whatever encouragement, lack of motivation, whatever we want to call it. But we justify our own personal attitudes that delay us from producing our work. We justify it by saying, oh no, the government, oh no, those people, oh no, class, oh no, capitalism. There's always a justification. Art is so expensive. No, black people don't know art, so I don't have a target audience. Make a target audience, okay? And I hear so many complaints, but I see so little actions, and I feel that if you are to take something on, right? I feel that when people say, when people give you reasons not to do something, it must purely come from their side, So they're not supporting, they're not watching my work, they're not funding, not I not producing, not you delaying or holding yourself back. So yeah.
Totally feel you. So as an artist, it is very important to have tangible
work,
document or whatever
that
goes and speak for you where I'm no longer there. or you are no longer there.
Yes.
Because sometimes I can imagine the nature of work you guys do. It's like, hey yo, we are planning to have someone. Who's that someone? No, it's this popping guy, but we can't bring him here now. That's where the profile comes in. So okay, in the boardroom, let them discuss your profile.
Yes.
Then they will call you.
Exactly.
So it's a must, guys. Please spend that money on that.
I don't even think it's spending.
And make it work.
It's more of like an investment, because it comes back to you. It's never lost.
I like the wording. It's invest on that.
It's investing.
Artists might struggle thinking with relationships. They might struggle with religion.
Yeah.
What are your takes on those two elements of life?
Yeah.
Religion and relationships.
Woo! Okay, my expert opinion.
I know it's expert because it's personal.
Okay, let's start with God.
Yeah.
Hey, he's the best artist. She's the best artist. They are the best artists. However you want to refer to God, the universe, deity, source, creator. But have you looked at the sky? Have you looked at the waves? Have you looked at leaves? Have you looked at your skin? Have you looked at have you read a science book? And have you read how atoms work and how your body works and cells? And have you listened to surgeons speak about how they can fix something? Almost, it's just crazy. It's like
unbelievable.
Everything he did in an art, in a sense, with so much grace and with so much elegance, with so much love, or attention and intent, everything had an intent, whether good or bad. That's up to us as people, because we always decide that. But God doesn't have good or bad. He has life. It is what it is. And it's so hard. When I go to the beach, this is what I think. God, I have a friend of mine, shout out to Zuko Twesi. He's an amazing artist too.
Shout out to Zuko.
Yes.
One day we'll have you here.
Zuko has
I'm gonna check your profile.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook you guys up. Sure. And one day Uzuko has a thingy, a frame, an artwork in his social media, one of his posts. It says, God is an artist. When I saw that, I thought that God is an artist as if artist is here and God is here, he's one of us, not realizing that God is an artist, that he's the artist, the ultimate, and that his creation is art. He speaks in art, everything he does, and we are an extension of God. So we are an extension of all that, there's no difference. Hence when I say, hey, I'm mad at God, I'm mad at myself. I was thinking about that just today, that everything that I say towards God is actually how I feel towards myself. And there's a mantra of mine that says, I am the universe and the universe is me, because just like God, I have the power to create my own reality, and it's not like one or the other, it's one and the same thing,
So the moment you point it out there, the fingers are basically pointing.
Yes, exactly.
That's painful to realize. But Manjevet, what do you say about how we so systematized God? Or the belief?
Hey man, I don't think that's God. I think that's a way. I go to church. I'm not Christian, but I go to church. I sit at the back, but I go to church. And when I go to church, I'm very spiritual. I'm being spiritual there. I'm just going to express my spirituality, my way of communicating. And I think that's all church and religion is. It's a vessel of spirituality. But then we put books and we put structures and we put rules. We put the human touch. And then we took something that was supposed to just be a way of living, a way of praising, a way of communicating this thing that we have inside. When people say the Holy Ghost, or it's that thing inside, man. We stopped communicating that sincerely, or somebody took saw an opportunity, in which I commend them because, hey, well done. Well done.
You created a masterpiece.
Yes. You have to give credit to, even when something is bad, you just have to be like, this
you
is
actually
smart,
thought about that.
So I love the fact that they saw an opportunity and they went for it. And big ups to them for having their legacy live on so long.
And it has been running.
It has been running. It's not even stopping. We still have to fight. This is controversial, apparently.
But guys, we just said you're pointing back to yourself. If you're fighting us,
you're fighting yourselves.
Get out of here. When it comes to relationships, because there's a world that is trying to create a doctrine for relationship. It's just that it's not written down. That's why we find ourselves not really fusing abantu, because manje kunale doctrine ethi, but there's the reality or the artistic way of life, which continuously clashes with the systematic.
Hey, so wait, what are you asking me to comment on? Are you asking me to comment my thoughts?
An artist in relationships, or
an artist in relationships. The
open-mindedness of an artist and trying to be in a relationship, or the struggles one usually faces as an artist.
Whoa, okay. Let me just adjust. Okay, let's start with the struggles. The struggles don't even go as deep as relationships, only romantically. It goes back to that thing of what I was saying about people close to you not even being able to comprehend who you are, because yes, they give you the title of, she's a creative, but they don't actually comprehend it and its depth and how it is that people, I always say, guys,
they just say it in passing.
Yes, I always say to them,
artist.
I'm not only an artist when I wake up and I draw or I'm drawing. I'm an artist when I wake up and I go out, when I'm at the shop, when I'm at spa, when I'm being mean to someone, when I'm being kind to someone, when I'm mad, when I'm sad. I'm always an artist. It's not something that I switch on and off. It's not a switch. It's
but
a lifestyle. But
wouldn't you say that everyone is an artist?
Exactly.
When you are more conscious?
I don't think I'm more conscious. I just think because I've explored and practiced it more, I'm more heightened. I don't think
heightened or away.
One and the same thing. I think it's the same difference, but all I'm saying
Sorry
is
to
that
cut you, man.
No problem.
I just needed.
All I'm saying is that if you were to do like the same thing I did, okay, you further than me, so you're more of an athlete. But if I were to start running and putting in the work, wouldn't I be also an athlete? So it's not about a gift and more than it is about putting in the work to hold yourself accountable that I am that certain thing. But people don't want to do that. They just want to find themselves there.
But Majo, why are they struggling to deal with the natural you?
I think it's systematic, because I'm not very systematic. In simple things, in really simple things, I think just when meeting me, one thing about being an artist, you can't help but be an artist, You can't help it. You can't help it, shame. We try. We try, guys. We try. But we be out here dressing differently, talking differently, carrying ourselves differently. And then, you're an artist. It explains. Shame, guys. Explains the nose ring. It's like, okay. And when it comes to relationships, I think that it's no different. That sometimes we go into these experiences with these people. Okay, I will give you a few seconds.
Lights,
camera,
shining,
action. So, we go into these alliances. I like calling
alliances.
Connections, alliances. Yes, because I feel like we allies because we have a common goal. So we go into these alliances, whether romantic or not. And we go into them and we have these pre-assumptions, obviously. But now, when you're an artist, you're so different from how everybody else operates. Sometimes you get away with it, but sometimes people are not able to handle that. One thing, I'm a very sensitive person, and my sense, I'm very because when people meet me, I think I'm also a very strong character. They think that I'm tough. No, I'm a strong character. I'm not tough, And so when I'm sensitive, people don't understand that side of me and they don't entertain it. And I feel that for you to deprive that, for you to not, pay mind to that side of me or to acknowledge it as much as you acknowledge the other sides of me, I feel it is to disrespect it. And I found that when I let myself hang around with people like that too long, my soul itself, it corrects me. Like, you see, you are making people disrespect you. You have disrespected yourself, by allowing yourself to stay in situations where you are uncomfortable for the sake of compromising yourself for other people who are not willing to do the same for you. So I know that they're going to watch this and they better hear, if they want to be better friends and better lovers and better family members and better spaces, they need to hear it. Because I feel that I'm also too nonchalant when it comes to explaining. It's tiring having to explain. I think one thing as artists we can say is we are tired. It is tiring. It's like waking up and putting on a play the whole day because you live in a world where it's not really yours, and the only time you are used is to create color and be the beauty of things. People only like art when they're going to look at it and admire it, but they don't like everything that comes with an artist. They don't like the depressions and the sadnesses and the mindsets and the opinions and the fashion sense.
But don't you think the commons are too overwhelmed by?
I can't believe you just call them the commons.
No, but it's anything that is not what I am is a common.
Too overwhelmed by,
not in a disrespectful way.
Too overwhelmed by.
It's like about me being an entrepreneur. Another person can easily be overwhelmed by that. Like, dog, like, are you an entrepreneur 100%? Like 24 hours? I'm like, dog, waking me up anytime I'm gonna tell you this and that. To them, it's overwhelming. And for me to have so much expectations from them, I'm like, bro, I'll be not doing justice to you.
I think
you still have yourself to
work on. Yes, I think that's why I don't bother to go out there and say it to everyone, because I comprehend that most of these people, they don't even know themselves, so how can I expect them to know me? And I'm like at this level, and I say that with all modesty. And so I say that with no judgment, because I've been there now. I say that I say, hence I am able to be there and love them. I think the key is for me to maintain a balance, in being able to love others, but love myself first, because I always say that to people, like, yes, lead with love. A life lived with love is amazing, but always remember to love yourself first above everything, because sometimes we can't bring ourselves to make the decisions because we're so emotional, we're so invested. But once you ask yourself, is this for my best interest? And if it's a yes, then go on, And so, yeah.
No, siyabonga kakhulu mfethu. Yo, in closing, what words do you have to the world or the youth? To yourself, mfethu? Because
to myself. I think I'd say it to myself.
Basically.
This is the only person that matters. Okay, to me, guys, to me.
Hey, every time a person calls themselves like God level, other people are like, hey.
You know what I think? Huh? What I've noticed is that most of the time, people who are offended by someone else's confidence are people who lack confidence themselves. No one is ever overconfident if you're confident. They're just really confident. But once you are insecure, you will easily see someone else's overconfidence and their ego, because when you lack it. So before you tell me, because anybody with confidence will be like, they will hype you up because they know how it feels to be there. Yes, they hold no envy towards it. Yes, and I think it's also beautiful being able to recognize that feeling in someone else. So you're like, but then
I feel you. Then it's gonna be words to yourself.
Words to
but why is this thing failing us so much?
Words
we need these slides.
To myself. Okay, right on time. Words to myself. Guys, this is so cool, because there's this in my yearbook, my 2020 high school yearbook. Yes. My quote was so you had to have a yearbook quote, and then you had to have in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years.
It's like a 5-year plan.
Yes. So then I said for mine, my yearbook quote was late, like all my school assignments. Yeah, it was true because it was really late. Like it was late.
Late submission.
I had to get called by your yearbook quote. And then in the next 5 years or 10 years, it says, I said, I will be on your screens. And in less than 5 years, I am on screens. So I to myself,
sure,
just keep doing you.
So don't you feel like you see when you achieve a goal, consciously or unconsciously, but must you realize that did I just
like I spoke it
achieve
into
that?
Yes, I spoke it into
existence. Didn't I dream
existence.
small? Or what? Do you feel challenged now to dream bigger and unlimited?
I think
limitlessly, like.
Hey, my friends and I were talking. My colleagues and I were talking like this afternoon, and we were just being like philosophical. We were talking about birthdays and and then something came up that today is the oldest that you will ever be. Yeah. So the fact that you can wake up every morning and set a goal is to dream big. I don't feel that. I feel good. It feels like a plus for me to know that at that level I could set something and I could achieve it. And to achieve it in the time that I did makes me want to go even harder. So I think, if anything, words to myself would have to be
this thing is taking us to Zanzibar. But we can go on.
I remember
this podcast.
I remember in high school I did an oral, and it talked about moving forward. It talked about me walking, and what I would do is I would walk. Like I would walk from one point to another really far suburb, where I lived. And I would always do that when I was not in a good headspace. And I said in that oral that one thing that taught me is to keep moving forward. And what I would do is I would tell myself, okay, when I get to Spa, I'm gonna then let me just get to Spa. When I get to Spa, I'm like, okay, let me just get to that shop, and then setting small goals until eventually I get there. And to me, I think that's the trick to life, is to keep moving forward, but also set little, small goals and stops where you applaud yourself, where you watch your achievements, because nobody knows how it is to be you. And I always say, if you can't celebrate yourself, you can't expect other people to celebrate you. So yeah.
So in a nutshell, it has to do with the goals. Break them down to turbo beats.
Yes.
All of that. Yes. But have that main.
Yes.
Because these Molanyana ones show the direction, basically. Yes. Thank you very much. HLUMELO January. You can share how people can view your art, social media platforms, the next show. This is like a PR rant.
Alright, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, again, you can catch me every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on channel 260. That is every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on channel 260, Iron Art, and I will be your host. And then you can catch me on IG at hlum_hlum_, and on Facebook as hlum_hlum. Alright? Yes, because my artist name is actually Hlum. It's just that.
Just Hlum.
Just Hlum.
Boom. It's a rap.